Welcome to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, where we talk all things good food, good business, and good cars. And now, here is your host, Arnold Garcia, founder and CEO of Petra Automotive Products. Let's roll.
Man, I'm excited about today's show. It's going to be crazy fun. It's funny because we're going to do a show on this tequila called Local.
Okay.
Which means crazy.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And so that's coming up. But we talked about how it's good crazy. This is good crazy, you know? So we're at Velocity Sim Racing. Sim what, because of the SIM card?
Well, simulation racing.
Simulation racing, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking SIM card, right?
Yeah.
But we're at Velocity Sim Racing here in Houston, near downtown. The owner, Viet Tran,
Yes, sir.
is with us. And after this, he's challenged me to racing. He doesn't realize that I am the professional Cuban racer, 1970 Ferrari race in Cuba that I won.
Wow.
So we'll see how.
Wow,
this
the
goes.
Cuban mile.
Yeah.
From Fast and Furious. I get it.
The only fast thing Cubans did was get out of Cuba and go 90 miles to Florida. But anyway, thanks
Yes,
for being
sir.
on the show.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I mean, speaking about Cuba, so Cuba obviously is a communist place, but you also immigrated from a communist place.
Sure. Yeah.
Were you born there?
Yes. Yeah. So my father was a major in the South Vietnamese army during the war. And in 1992, there was a humanitarian program to bring military officers and their families to America. And so we came through that refugee program in 92 when I was 5 years old. And so we landed in Corpus Christi, Texas. And so Texas has been home for a long time now. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Wow. You ever go back?
We did, yeah. So 2 years ago, took my parents back. It was like our first time to go back as a family. So it's just a really meaningful moment for us to
Emotional,
come.
right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We kind of visited the original home that we grew up in, and it was a very, very meaningful journey for all of us. Yeah. Full circle.
People don't get communism is bad.
Yeah.
Socialism is bad. The freedoms that people lose has a chain reaction to losing everything, and not only monetarily, but families divided.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Because they all can't leave. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden the kids may be left and the parents stayed, or the parents and the kids left, but the uncle stayed. And it divides and destroys and just kills everything in its path.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Cuba obviously is left to nothing. There's literally nothing left in Cuba. It is fallen apart, dirt, families, apart. And when people go back, it's like it's very emotional.
Oh yeah.
But emotional also because they see it completely gone.
Right.
It's
yeah.
destroyed. It's
Yeah.
like a bomb hit it and it's gone. Where Vietnam, at least, although still through some of that communist thinking, are allowing some companies to come in.
Yep. A
And
lot of
that-
industry.
And that will help change it
Oh,
internally.
for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because capitalism, it works.
Yep.
It works.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so you come here to America.
Yes,
How old were you when you come?
Five.
You were 5.
Yeah.
So 5, did you live in Corpus for a while?
We did for elementary, and then my parents they kind of just had to do what needed to be done. So our first 10 years in America, we actually moved 11 times, just trying to find work and stability.
Yeah.
And we landed in Houston in 8th grade for me, and I stayed here from 8th grade through high school. And then after that, I kind of went to California, kind of studied over there, lived in the East Coast, the West Coast, studied in England and Korea, all over, and then kind of full circle back to Texas in 2020.
How long was your college career here?
I studied in California.
Where'd you go?
Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. So I
Did you
studied.
graduate from there, or
Yes,
did
sir,
you just
yeah.
traveled around?
No, I studied at Stanford, and I graduated, and then worked in tech companies for a very long time, and then almost 14, 15 years in tech, both at startups as well as a big stint at Amazon. But at the same time, I would spend almost every weekend at the racetrack. So I was working in tech and then racing on the weekends, basically, and that's where kind of
You raced cars.
motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Yeah. So I raced
Because you only wanted to make it a little bit more dangerous.
just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little spicy. You gotta keep it interesting for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we actually just moved houses this week, and I found this little art book that I had when I was 8 years old, and all of the drawings in there are cars and motorcycles. And so, even I think coming to America, I was, very impressionable at that age, right? Of course, and I think one of the first movies I ever saw was Top Gun, and the scene where like Maverick takes off on the bike and the F-14 takes off, in the sky. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's what it means to be American. Got to get a bike. So literally, first paycheck out of college, I bought a bike.
That's
and
great.
so so I knew I always wanted to be on a fast machine in some way, and so that was my American dream.
That was your velocity. You wanted to go fast.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. So you come to Texas at 5, move around all the time.
Yep.
End up graduating from Houston.
Stanford.
No, in high school.
Oh yeah, Houston. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
Cy Woods.
Oh, I don't think
I
that
was-
even existed when I was
When
there.
you were there? Okay.
Yeah.
So my son.
Yeah.
So all my kids went to Cy Woods. All my kids graduated from Cy Woods. But my oldest son was the first freshman class.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So remember, they didn't have other classes. They started with freshmen. There was no 10th, 11th, or 12th.
Yeah.
Then when he went to 10th, they brought another freshman. Now you got freshman 10th.
Oh, okay.
That's how they did it.
That's fun,
So my oldest son was the first class of the school, freshman, and then he was the first graduating class of the school.
That's cool.
And then all the
experience.
kids graduated from there. So yeah, Cypress. We all
neighbors.
We were neighbors around there.
Gotcha.
And so so you graduate from
Cy Falls.
Cy Falls, and then you move to Stanford.
Yep.
Did you always know you wanted to go to Stanford? Or you apply a couple places, or you just knew you wanted to get out of Texas and go somewhere?
I mean, I think being so transient early on in life kind of instilled this sense of like just adventure, right? I was like, I just read voraciously and I wanted to see the world. That was the dream. And my parents didn't go to college. So I literally just went to like the US News rankings and I was like, what's a good school? Like, that's the one I want to go to. I did a lot of martial arts as well growing up. And so they had a really good martial arts program. So I was like, that kind of fits the bill. I also wanted really good weather. And so it fit the bill. So I applied there and I got in. I was like, oh my gosh, I guess we're going. So, I didn't really know what we were getting into because there was no one to talk about it, right? And so we just kind of just went, right? And
I love your story. This is like, we come from Vietnam, we end up in Corpus,
sir.
Grow up in Texas, pick up a magazine, pick the school I go to. I'm going to buy a motorcycle. And by the way, I do martial arts.
Yeah,
I do martial arts too.
Great.
I can take off my shirt.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Mass is important.
Yes.
Right? So
I thought math was important for, what's the Japanese?
Well, sumo.
Sumo.
Yeah.
I probably can do sumo better than I can do.
Yeah. Sumo's hard. It's hard. It's legit. Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, so you go to college.
Yep.
You get into a tech,
Yep.
software development.
Yep.
Then what? What's the next thing you're doing?
I mean, I think a big part of that professional career. So in tech, there's a role called product management, right? Which is what I did. So I'm not an engineer myself, but the role is specifically for kind of the interface between the customer, the product, and what the engineers build, right? Because engineers are amazing at what they do, but you need someone that can understand what are the needs of the business, right? What's the right product market fit? What are the opportunities for the business? And so the product manager role is that role, right? And so it's defining what are the requirements of the software that we build such that it fulfills the needs of the customer so that we can sell, right, and build a company off of it. And so my role for nearly a decade was explicitly that, right? And I specialize in...
So you were the translator.
Yeah, oftentimes,
You were the translator from the common English person buying it,
Yeah,
and the engineer who doesn't know
yeah.
normal language. He just knows computers.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Because I've sat in meetings where I'm like, we want to have a red screen corner, do this.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm just making this up, 2 arrows, pog, ba, and I'm like, I have no idea what he said.
Yeah. You need
I
that.
have no idea.
You need that, yeah. And then in that domain specifically, I was very lucky in my career where I was tapped to work on 0 to 1. We call them 0 to 1 projects. So basically just from scratch, right? Like a company like, for example, Amazon or a startup wants to invest in a new area that they don't exist yet. They have to have teams of people that can think really deeply about, okay, like, should we invest in this new space? And if we do, what's it going to cost? What's it going to look like? What do we need? Who do we need to build that, right? And launch it from 0 to 1. Right?
So out of Stanford, what was your first job?
I worked in a startup called Medallia. It's actually basically Medallia was like digitizing surveys at global scale before it was a thing, right? So like you might heard of like SurveyMonkey, sure, right? It's surveys, right? It's like very like basic. But what happens when you're surveying 100 million people? How do you make sense of all that data, right? And so Medallia was a pioneer in that field. So my first role was implementing a lot of those solutions for large global corporations, and so that's where I got like a taste of it. But even during college, I was very lucky. I interned at YouTube before they got acquired by Google. So it was like literally 30 people, and we were on the second floor of a sushi restaurant. And so I got a taste of like technology startups really early on in my life. And so I think that kind of instilled this like, wow, I want to do that myself. I want to start something else on my own, right?
That's pretty cool that you were part of YouTube when it was
pre-acquisition.
Oh
my gosh,
on top of a sushi bar.
Yeah. It was like literally a team of us freshmen from school. We would finish course, hop on the train, go up to San Bruno. And then there was no automation for filtering illicit content at that time. So the internship team was basically flagging bad content on the platform, right? And answering customer.
You were the filter.
Yeah, we were the filter, and we were answering customer support emails. Like that was the internship, right?
Wow.
But it was really cool to see like how fast decisions could be made in a startup, right? In a young company. And it was just really inspiring. It's like, hey, like this little thing that started here is now touching the lives of millions and millions of people. Like how neat is that, right? And so that was really inspiring as an experience. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you did the medallion thing.
Yep.
Then you go where?
Couple of failed startups, right? So it isn't I don't think any journey is just a linear path, right?
No.
So up and down. So I followed.
And to be honest, you need the failures.
Yes, I think you learn more from that, right? And so I followed a manager that I really respected to another startup, and it was like a really exciting vision. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Let's make a leap of faith, and then it failed, right? And that failed, and then I was like, well, that got to jump ship, go to another startup. Like, well, that was a really cool experience, and that failed, and that was a late 20s. I was like, oh my gosh, like. One okay company, two failed companies. What do I do with my life? Do I go to business school, or do I go a different path? And so I had a mentor. Actually, it was a customer who went to Harvard Business School, and he was really kind to give me his time. And he was like, Viet, like you've already done the kind of you're learning through failure through these companies. Maybe instead of going to school, why don't you join a big company that has built to scale so you can learn from leaders that have built something really big, right? And at that time, in your early 2010s, that was Amazon, right? Amazon dominated the market. And if you want to talk about a company that understands process and scale, you can't really beat it, right? And so I went there for 6 years to learn scale.
Did you go to Seattle?
Yes, so I split. I was hired for Amazon New York, and so I split 6 years between New York City and Seattle.
No kidding.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. So it's been fun.
New York and man.
Yeah, Manhattan. That was a cool experience.
You're a young guy. You've done a lot. Let me tell you. That's
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people. People say, oh, I've been in business and I've succeeded, and everything in business has gone great, and every decision I've made led to the next. I mean, every decision you make, regardless, does lead to your next decision or next opportunity.
Yes, sir.
But in that journey, there are bad ones. It's like when people say, I've been married for 20 years and we've never had an argument. I'm always like, no, it's not me. Is it you? Have you ever had an argument, Butch? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's her future Vietnam.
Future Vietnamese husband. That's right. Not me though. I'm taken.
Yeah. Well, maybe you have a brother or
I do have a
cousin.
brother. I do have
Somebody
a couple of
Vietnam.
brothers. Okay.
So, so you go to Seattle, then what's next? Or, not Seattle, but you go to Amazon, then what's next?
Yeah, so basically the goal, this is like an interview here, but the goal, I very intentionally went to Amazon to learn processes and frameworks to build companies at scale. And it was always this intention that I would leave it and go to another startup and take everything I've learned, all the failures, all the things I've learned from leaders, et cetera, and then try to step into a leadership role myself. And so I went to another startup, and then I got laid off. And then that was like jolting, right? I was like I remember, this was a wave of tech layoffs. They laid off over 30% of the entire engineering organization. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? I've never been in this situation before. And they actually were they didn't want to spend the money for us to return the laptops because that costs money to process them. So they gifted us the laptop. And I joked that I actually built Velocity off of that laptop from being laid off. And so it's kind of like, let's make lemonade out of
kind of
lemons.
The plan?
Yeah, that's where I baked the plan. So I still use the same laptop today where I write all the plans, all the docs.
where did the thought come? Like you,
Yeah.
you say you got laid off and you got this laptop.
Yeah.
But had you been thinking about opening something like this for a
No,
while?
not at all.
Or you get
Yeah.
laid off and you're like, man, what am I going to do next? And this
Yeah.
thing starts popping into your head.
It wasn't. It was more just, as a product person, and I think even.
Were you a gamer?
Yeah. I did a lot of gaming for sure. But I think as a product person, and even when I was young, I'd always wanted to build something my own. And I think that was the catalyst for, okay, you know what? Like, you have to control your own fate, right? You can be as loyal as you want to for a certain company or whatever, right? But when time comes, they're gonna make the right decision for the business, which I understand, totally understand. And so for me, it was like, that was one of the catalysts, right? The other one was, I was still racing through this entire time, right? So I raced on the West Coast. And then when I was living in Texas, I also raced in a series down here as well. I actually flipped over my bike and hurt myself pretty bad. Like, I ripped my shoulder, knocked myself out for a moment. And then I tried to re-enter racing, but I was so off pace. My mind was I was scared. I would choke up, and I was like, I'm anxious to be on the bike again, on track again. And I knew that was a mental block. And so, I was watching like podcasts and videos, and people were like, oh, sim racing. And then I had built, like a little gaming thing a long time ago. But then when I kind of got back into it, I realized, oh my gosh, like, we're in a golden age for simulation racing technology, right? Where the convergence of incredible hardware and software has met. And so these experiences are just unbelievable. And so that was where I built a really nice simulator at home. Friends would come over and visit, and we would take turns in driving. And we're like, wait, everyone's just having a great time. And it's like, how do you package this and then put it in a place where you can do it together, right? And so then that was when it was like, okay, let's look at what this industry could be. And I saw that there were some other centers out there. So I visited a few, but I felt like all of their experiences were very narrow. Like, you would go into a small store with maybe 10 machines, right? But there was no food, there was no drinks, the destination itself didn't feel like a destination, right? And so for me, it wasn't as warm and welcoming as it could be. And so that's why we've invested so much into the venue itself. It's not just the simulators here, it's the entire thing, right? And the experience, right? It's a destination. So I felt like that was what was missing. And so that was when, like, the light bulb went. I was like, oh.
And where are you at when this light bulb and planning and things happening?
I was
New York or Washington?
I was actually in Los Angeles visiting a friend for Christmas when I was like writing this like 5-page document outlining my vision for Velocity. And he himself is a business leader, and I like very sheepishly go up to him like, hey, do you mind reading this thing and like giving me some critique? And he read it. And this guy, mind you, is the president of a multi-billion-dollar company. So he scrutinizes ideas all the time. So I was, he's one of my closest friends. But I was still very nervous, right? Because, like, if you lay your ideas out to bear, and
it's gonna hurt regardless.
Yeah. And you expose like your thoughts. Someone says it's a dumb idea. You got some ego in it, right? And so, but he read it and he was like, actually, this makes sense. I was like, oh. Okay,
good, yeah.
Okay, maybe there's something here then, and so put some more thought into it and then refined the idea and then just went crazy with it, right? So 13 months later, we opened Velocity.
Here,
yep,
it is.
in here in Houston, yeah.
So you're in Los Angeles.
Yep.
You were between Washington, New York.
Yeah.
So when you said, okay, when the guy says this is a good idea, you put this thought into it.
Yeah.
Light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
Why Houston?
Well, I mean, we were living in Houston at the time, and we were visiting my friend in LA. So we were still here.
Okay. So you'd already moved away from.
Yeah,
Washington,
we had moved from Seattle to Houston in 2020, right before the pandemic broke out. So we were here because my parents never left, so we're here.
Gotcha.
And then so we kind of, my partner Judy and I, we came back, and then we were like, hey, like, are we gonna do this? And so the most immediate thing was finding the right people. Right. I think, as you know, I think you can have all the best ideas in the world, but if you don't have the right team, the right execution,
you're in trouble.
It's not happening, right? And so the most urgent thing next was like, okay, cool, ideas there. Who are the people I trust the most that can be a part of this team?
So you come back to Houston.
Yes.
I imagine you got a little savings here.
Sure.
13 months to open the doors here.
Yes. Yeah.
You're living off of this savings.
Yeah. Yes. Well, my partner Judy very graciously. She has a very good career herself. And so we made the decision where it's like, okay, we're not going to have my income so that I can focus on building the business. And so we basically, so she's like a partner, like life partner, everything, right? So
yeah,
that's the idea. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So 13 months later, you open Velocity.
Yeah.
When was that? What was the date?
March 1st, 2025.
March 1st. So you're about to, I opened Petra March 1st.
Oh,
2010.
How Fortuitous. Yeah. That's great.
And so,
Very auspicious.
March 1st, 2025, you're about to have your 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
How's
yes.
the plan going?
It's going to be a bonanza. It's going to be spectacular. I think we have a lot to celebrate. So in the year, the less than the year that we've been open, we've had over 26,000 unique drivers come and drive our simulators, and we have a really high repeat rate because I think guests just love the experience, right? And so they bring friends, they bring you, and they bring other folks in because they see how the experience is just so special. And so I feel very fortunate, right? It's been an incredible 11 months, and it'll be an incredible year to celebrate. So yeah, quite a lot's going to happen that day for sure.
Wow,
yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm glad we got the invitation. Did you get the invitation?
Yes.
I got mine.
He's invited.
Yeah.
He's invited. Yeah.
This is where you meet the Vietnamese guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's not letting it go. He's not letting it go. Not letting it go. Yeah.
Hey, of all the cars you have had, maybe it's what was your first car?
My older brother gifted us his 1992 Acura Legend, and I immediately put a cold air intake into it, and it went street racing on Westheimer, which was, I do not
Never got caught?
condone that at all. Almost died a couple times. And then my best friend's mom was like, Viet, like, I don't care if you die, but if you hurt someone else because you're being a jackass, that's on you.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like my wake up call. I was like, wait, like this is horribly
it's not just about
irresponsible.
you.
Yeah, it's not just about us, right? And so that's why I'm a huge advocate of getting people onto the track, where it's like, hey, let's learn the skills, let's do it in a safe environment. So that's been a big part of what I try to do on the motorcycle side, at least. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so you that was your first car.
Yeah.
What is your dream car?
I
What is the car that when this thing blows up and becomes famous, that we're going to put in the Viet Tran Museum? What is that dream car you want?
I mean, I think there's not a one specific machine. Like I love being on the racetrack, so I think having some sort of open wheel for that would be really, really cool. For the street,
Give me one. Paint me one. How does it look?
So like I really like obscure niche things. So like the KTM Expo GT2 is really, really neat. The canopy that comes up, it's just really special. Like when I competed racing, I always went for the very niche type of bikes as well. So I have a KTM prototype race bike. I have a Moto 3 from the VR46 team that Valentino Rossi autographed for me.
You still bike?
I don't actively race anymore.
Do you ride a bicycle?
I can ride a bicycle or a motorcycle?
I mean, a motorcycle.
I can do both. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at the bicycle.
I mean,
though.
a motorcycle.
Yeah, I'll do a track
even
day.
if you don't race.
Yeah, I'll do a
bike,
track day. I'll do a track
right?
day. Yeah. So like I was at, very lucky. We're friends with the folks that own V1 Moto, and so every year Carlos hosts a really cool event called Vito Veloce at Coda. In collaboration with V1 Moto and Lamborghini of Houston. So last year, he graciously lent me a couple of bikes to ride at Coda. So that was spectacular, So yeah, if you give me a bike, I'll ride it, for sure.
Okay.
But I'm not racing anymore, though.
Of all the places you've gone to, which ones you like? Of all the places you've traveled.
Oh.
Worldwide.
Up here, I don't know if you can see in the camera, is a circuit called Jerez in southern Spain. And so part of like the delivery experience of getting that very special race bike was going to Spain and then getting to ride with Danny Pedrosa, who's a legend in MotoGP. And so that was like peak motorcycle experience for me, like, getting to ride with one of your heroes and learning from him, right? Which is absolutely unbelievable.
And that's called El Circuito de Jerez.
Jerez, yep, that's right.
And you did it.
Yes, yeah. That's why it's there. So all the other lights that we have here are all car tracks, really, Laguna Seca, Spa, Coda, but I wanted a special motorcycle track, so I put Jerez up there.
Which you've been to.
Which is my passion, yeah.
Dream place, where would you like to visit that you haven't visited yet? What is in your bucket list?
I mean,
and I know there's a lot, right? You're still young, but what is one of those?
I mean, I've traveled quite a bit. For me, it's more about who I get to go with and experience, the thing there. We planned this really beautiful trip to Morocco right before the pandemic broke out, so we had to cancel the whole thing. So I'd love to, Judy and I would love to go to Morocco. The other place is Portugal. So really, really good wine, food, racetracks.
Port.
Can't complain. Yep, exactly. I love port. So
I love ports too.
If I can sneak in a track day somewhere, I'm a happy camper.
All right, sounds good. What's your favorite food?
Vietnamese food. It's like peak.
Okay, so what is
cuisine.
Vietnamese food to you? Right, because when I went to Vietnam, I realized it's a lot more than just.
Oh my God, it's more than pho. Yeah, it's so much more than pho. Please, guys, experience more than pho.
Although I did have a lot of that, but it was more than that.
Yeah, no. So Vietnamese food to me is home food. It's like what my parents cooked. when they're juggling all the work that they had. We do a lot of like caramelized dishes in like clay pots. So like caramelized catfish or pork or whatever, so we call those kho. And so those dishes are really, really special to me. And then another big part of Vietnamese cuisine is you grow your own herb garden. Like if you visit any Vietnamese family, no matter how big the home or small the home, they're gonna be growing some sort of herb, right? And so it's really, really big part of what we do. So fresh herbs, fresh vegetables, fresh soups, all that stuff. So that's the taste of home to me, right? So I love it, right? Outside of that, I love like sushi or tapas. I really like tapas as well, Spanish food.
Yeah.
It's really good, yeah.
Tapas is good too.
Yes, sir.
So what advice would you give a kid in high school or college that opened his laptop today, doesn't know what he's going to do tomorrow? What is the advice that you would give him? Now looking back, what is the advice that you give him?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, my path towards this has been so unpredictable, right? Like I actually went to college to study international relations because I wanted to work for the State Department or the CIA. That was the original dream, actually. So because my father's military, uncle, grandparents, all military, and I skipped this generation. But I actually interviewed with the CIA originally, when I was going to college, and then I was thinking about med school because you're Asian, so you got to be a doctor. So all that pressure existed for me, and I think at the end of the day, what I realized is that there's almost no wrong decision, right? It's just you have to make a decision, and you should commit to it and just learn from those mistakes, right? So I remember very vividly when the startup I went to after Medallia that bankrupted, and I was so furious with myself. I was so angry. I was like, how could you make such a poor decision? Like, you should have vetted the leadership team more, this and that. And I was just so upset. I was like, oh, my whole life is derailed. My career is derailed, yada, yada, yada. I was just really upset. And then, but the reality is that I wouldn't have made my way to Amazon or Velocity or wherever if I didn't try those attempts and if I didn't, rebound from the failures, right? And so I think just like for anyone, I don't know if I'm even in a position to give advice, but I think it's being okay with making decisions and realizing that there are very few wrong decisions. You just have to be ready to like learn from them, right? And just roll with it. I think that's really, really important. Yeah. That's what I would have to say.
That's good.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Which is a great advice because really it's just do something.
Just do something. Yeah.
Right.
Don't be paralyzed.
Right. Yeah. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously have to think it, but I think a lot of times fear is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you overthink it over and over and over, you're going to be so lost.
Yeah.
And look, you may fail.
Yes, sir.
But do it.
Yeah. Yep,
because
absolutely.
from that failure, you will learn something.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of failure, I'm going to go race this guy. And
he challenged me. It wasn't the other way
going
around.
to
So
lose.
yes,
Right? It
I
will be his failure.
It's humbling. Humbling. He is the Cuban champion.
I'm the Cuban
from
champion.
1965, 70 in Havana, in the Cuban Mile. He beat Toretto in Fast and Furious 12.
There you go.
That's right.
We have the same haircut.
The
All right,
unpublished.
let's do this.
Let's do it. It's just open track. So this is Laguna Seca. Have you been there before?
I haven't.
You have?
I've been to Laguna, but not Laguna Seca.
Okay. Brake. You're gonna crash. Oh my God, this madman. Jeez. Okay. All right. So come to complete stop. Now with your left hand, click the paddle on the left side until you see the letter R for reverse. Click.
Yeah.
Okay. Now go ahead and reverse out. Remember, you're on gravel, so it's gonna be slippery. There you go. Turn it out. And then when you're oriented in the correct direction, now come to a complete stop. There goes Arnold. Click twice on the right paddle to first gear. Okay, and then off you go. All right, I'm behind you. Let's just take it. Let's learn the track.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very, very cool racetrack. Okay, so right-hander coming up. Get a feel for the left foot brake there. There you go, nice. Try to get tight to that apex. Okay, on throttle as you get the car straight. All right, tip it in. There you go. Easy on the throttle as you come out of the corner. Brakes here. Touch the apex on the inside. Nice. Full gas up the hill. This is a tricky corner. It's pretty blind here. Hold the brakes a little bit. Turn it. Ah! Or just take me out. Okay. I see how it is. Wow.
You said full. You said
This
go
is how
ahead.
they do it in Cuba?
Yes.
Okay, all right. on track.
This is why everything is destroyed in Cuba.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, we're coming up to the corkscrew. You know about the corkscrew?
I don't. Tell me.
Okay, so the corkscrew is an ultra famous corner. It's completely blind. It goes downhill. It's about a 4-story drop.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. On the bike, it's insane. You feel like your heart going into your throat. It's insane. So follow me over here. Want to stay to the right-hand side of the circuit, and you're going to turn left tight and get the car straight as you go down the hill. Woo! That's the corkscrew. Well done, sir. Nice. I crashed my bike right here in real life.
Oh, great.
This is great. This brings back, that's my PTSD right there. And a really tight corner here, last corner, late apex. So hold it tight. Tight, 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 tight. Yep. Nice, there you go. Okay, go ahead and get in front of me. All right, on the brakes here. Tight, left-hand corner, nice. Turn your head, look through the corner before you get on the throttle. Yep, yep, yep. That was good though, that was better than the first time.
Yeah?
Yep. I bet you in like 2 laps, you're gonna shave off like 30 seconds, just getting to know the track.
Listen, Reese says that in real life,
Yes.
I should have been a race car driver.
Yeah. Yeah. It means you're very technical.
Or he's scared every time he gets in the truck with me.
Or that. So how did you get involved with with the GT3 racing and all that stuff?
So we had a mutual friend, and Reese and I hit it off. He's become
Yeah.
a very good friend, and we just
Yeah.
talk about the racing and how we can make it better. And we're obviously
Nice.
in the automotive world and automotive products, and so
Yeah.
we're figuring out ways to help him.
That's awesome. That's a good synergy between the companies. Yeah. Corkscrew. Let's see you do it. Nice.
Well,
That's
I didn't
great.
end up in the sand, so that's
Well
good.
done, well done. Do the Reese guys train on simulators?
They do.
They do, yeah, they have to. Yeah, there's a really cool podcast.
I think most of these guys do now.
They have to, yeah. Like there's a great podcast with Max Verstappen, and they asked him, would you spend 1,000 hours on a go-kart or 1,000 hours on the sim? And he was like, the sim for sure. It's just a much better way to train and get ready for racing. So here I want to touch the left-hand side and look through the corner until I see my exit before I get back on throttle. Or else it's very,
Yes.
yeah, nice. There you go. See? There you go. That shaved off at least 5 seconds right there. Oh, madman! A little too much dirt. That's the beauty of sim. You can bin a $500,000 car, and it doesn't cost you anything. And what's really cool is we can adjust all of the parameters that you would want to test the car with, right? Your aero, the suspension, the camber, all that. We can even change the environment as well. So if you want to practice in the rain or at night, right? Because they're doing the Daytona this weekend, they'll be racing through the night. So you can practice what it's like to race through the night, which is a really cool way to get yourself ready for racing. Yep, stay to the right, get the car straight. Yep. Turn and try to get that steering wheel straight as you come down the hill. Nice, there you go. Beautiful. So what's your dream car, if you're gonna ask me?
I actually would like the last Huracan Lamborghini.
Oh, okay. Hold on the brakes, turn your head, look through the corner, look for that exit as you straighten the steering wheel. Beautiful. There you go. That's another 3 seconds right there. There you go. Yes. Nice. Corkscrew, your favorite corner. Tight, get the hands open. Ah! Nice, good save. There you go. Here, brake. Tight. Get the car opened up. Nice. Beautiful. That's your personal best right there. Nice.
All right, I'm good.
Heck yeah. Well done, sir. He did beat me, see? He got a 153.4 and I got a 154.1, so he beat me by 0.7 of a second.
Make sure we document that.
Well done, sir. It's official. It's official. I guess I owe you something now.
No, not at all. Man, that was a blast.
Great job, sir.
That was great.
Great
man.
job.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you for listening to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, your main source for all things good and fun, business, food, and cars. If you like this episode, make sure to rate us and subscribe. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please leave a message at the link below. Till next time, happy eating.